Praise be to Jesus. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that I need, or I shall be full and deny you and say, Who is the Lord? Or I shall be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. Today's first reading and the Gospel speak about the judgment of the rich who are insensitive to the needs of others and the riches gained at the expense of others' misery. Nowadays, we are always on our heels and not knowing where we are heading towards. This happened in the life of rich man in the Gospel. There was not even a single interaction between the rich man and Lazarus. When we are blessed with money and wealth, we are sometimes blinded to see our fellow human beings and their needs. We can only think of me, my, and mine. It was narrated in one of the debates in a humorous way. A person meets his neighbor on the 5th floor for the first time and inquiring about his name and his residence when there was a severe flood. In fact, his neighbor was staying next to his house in a flat. Though it sounds funny, yet it is a reality. The rich man feasted every day. Feasting describes two meanings. The first one is that the joy of the angels and saints in heaven, and the second is making merry or bad company. The rich man fits in the second. Please direct your attention to the poor Lazarus who longed to eat what fell from the rich man's table. The word eat is commonly used for the feeding of animals rather than humans. But Luke refers it for the longingness of hungry, utter poverty, or state of starving. The poor Lazarus was starving, and his only one hope was to get fed by a piece of bread. What is the bread? At a feast, bread was used to wipe the grease from one's hands and then was thrown under the table where the dogs come and fill their hunger. The depth of Lazarus' deprivation is described with one final detail. The dogs lick his sores as they pass by because poor Lazarus too waited for the bread. Lazarus dies of starvation and disease at the rich man's gate. Lazarus' death underscores the urgency of Jesus' challenge to the well-to-do. When you give a feast, do not invite your friends, not rich neighbors. Instead, invite Lazarus the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. As long as we are in a world of complacency, we cannot understand the needs of others. We need to come out of our locked rooms of ourselves. The climax of the story is here. The poor Lazarus spoke nothing on earth. Now Abraham speaks on his behalf. The rich man too never spoke, but begs for a drop of water now. The fact is that he is wealthy is not the point. That could be gained or blessings from God. The point here is his insensitivity and self-centeredness. Let me ask myself, where shall I place myself in the story? Am I closer to Lazarus, or am I closer to rich man? The wages expected to be 341 rupees in India per day for a worker. But how far do they receive the stipulated amount? More than 40% of population is in poverty in the world. How blessed we are, having good house, decent food, clothing, computer, mobile, internet facility, luxurious car, bike, etc. The rich man had no name, wherein the poor Lazarus had the name. So, let our names be written in heaven by being sensitive to the needs of our fellow human beings. Live Jesus.